We are no longer physicians. We're providers.
Ask your baby's permission.
Gay people, you have become a product. Should auto insurance cover STD? Are you freaking kidding me? So you demean us. You don't get a parade for a sexual preference. You cannot hurt the feelings of somebody with a fraction of my training. That a beaver's ass presented this to the world. It's a natural flavor. But you are literally an ice cube in a martini shaker.
Welcome back to BS Free MD, live tonight. Doctales with cocktails. It's been a hot minute or two since we've done this, and I'm super excited because I just love being on here, commenting, reading your comments, interacting with everybody. So thank you for joining us. And as usual, Tim's going to have some wild and wacky news stories for tonight, a drink of the day. And if you stick around to the end because you're a devoted follower, maybe a little brief update on what we've been up to and what the plans are.
Yeah, things have changed a lot. We've got a lot going on, but we have some very big and very good news as far as the show is concerned. So that is good. And we're going to talk mostly about animals tonight. There's been some in the last 2 or 3 weeks, some pretty crazy animal stories. And I'm just going to start off with, I'm back in a sleeveless shirt because we have endured our 2 days of winter in Florida last week. We
Not
had
me.
2 whole days of winter.
No way, it's still winter.
It was down to, what was it down to? It was down
At night,
to,
like 38.
yeah, it was crazy.
And in the day, did it break 60?
Someone doesn't know how to silence her phone.
I silenced my phone. However, you cannot silence family members that are in your favorite contacts. So I will turn it off.
Give it to me.
I got a new phone and he doesn't know how to turn it off. No, that's not true. Everybody back me up here. If you have favorites in your contacts, they will bust through.
Yeah, it can bust through, but it still shouldn't make a sound. Why do you have any sounds on?
As he plays with the phone, I will just continue to say.
There, now it's silent. There you go.
The little sounds that bother him, but you guys can't hear.
Holy smokes.
Just his pet peeve.
Unbelievable. But anyways, in honor of our not our 1 week, that's way too long, our 2 days of winter, they actually had, you know how they have like snow watch and tornado watch and stuff in different parts of the country? We had this, which was called Iguana Watch, an Iguana Watch advisory. Temperatures below 45, threat possible. Temperature 38 to 45, threat moderate. And if it's colder than 38, the threat goes to severe. Well, what is the iguana threat when it goes that cold? Well, because they're cold-blooded, they can't hold on to trees anymore, and they fall out of the trees and can hit you. And some of them are quite big.
Not just trees. One fell off of our screen on the lanai. I was
wasn't
lifting
an
it.
Iguana though. It was one of those.
As a lizard, a little
lizards.
gecko lizard thing. I lifted the lanai screen up, powered it up, and it was going up. They all started falling.
It's raining.
Ground.
It literally rains lizards when it gets below 40 degrees.
They're hanging on for dear life on the sunny side, and they still hit the ground. I looked to see if it was dead, but I couldn't find them.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So cold, iguanas fall out of trees. But we have very few. I saw one at work that was pretty big, but that was down in Venice. There's a few up here, but usually you have to get a little further south, like towards Naples, before you get tons of iguanas. So let's see here. All right.
See, Desiree loves my new phone, and I bet she didn't even hear it tweet.
But you never know. So this is the story that just keeps on giving. It's this one. It is the truckload of aggressive research monkeys escape after truck crash in Mississippi. One still on the loose.
I wonder if you can move that graphic over.
Let's
If
see.
you put it over there.
Let's give it a try.
I'm
Let's see
thinking you
what
can.
production does. Yeah,
There, it's perfect. You're gone
doesn't
from
work worth a
the
crap.
camera.
You can do that
Oh my
and dissolve
gosh.
us. There you go.
That's better. That's funny. We're playing with our graphics too.
Anyway, so it's so mental though, because these monkeys were being transferred from Tulane University. You don't like my hand movement? Tough
Puppet show.
shit. So, anyways, from Tulane University, these rhesus macaques were being transferred, and I think it was in somewhere in South Carolina. The truck turned over, and a bunch of monkeys escaped.
So I thought it was Kentucky or something.
No, it's like there's like 40 of them, and they kept saying that there was one left on the loose because they euthanized all the other monkeys. But then the story just keeps on giving. It's the story that keeps on giving because some random people just kept killing monkeys that showed up in their backyard like 2 or 3 times. So who knows how many monkeys escaped? That's the first thing. The second,
wait, but I can't. I guess maybe they heard that they were feral or diseased because, like, I can't even imagine killing a monkey. It's one thing to like step on an ant or kill a snake.
They're so aggressive that the people that like the actual monkey scientist people have to wear
those would
special
be called
monkey.
Those would be called biologists. Tim?
Yes, the monkey science people have to wear special monkey PPE because they're so aggressive. That's the problem. They're aggressive.
Like chainmail, like the Vikings.
Exactly. Okay, but why do they have to wear why are they aggressive? Pray tell. Well, if we go back way back to the 1950s.
Maybe they're torturing them in the lab.
Exactly. So back when I was trading COVID stocks, I went down tons of rabbit holes in small pharma companies that were using antiviral medications for all sorts of stuff. Well, one of the things that they use antiviral medications for is to develop new PrEP drugs so that people that, we'll use the medical term, men that have sex with men don't contract HIV.
Yeah. Tell them what PrEP means. Some people don't even know what PrEP.
It's pre-exposure prophylaxis. So you take this pill, and then if you get in contact with somebody that has HIV, then it decreases your risk of contracting HIV before you get infected, not after. Okay, so that's PrEP. All right. Well, how do they test these drugs? Well, how they test these drugs is they give the rhesus monkeys, like the ones that escaped in South Carolina, they give them the drug, and then they try to infect them with the HIV virus.
Of course.
Well, how do they do that? Well, they have to mimic how most humans get the HIV virus. So they have to inject the HIV virus in the monkeys' butts.
Oh, my gosh.
So you have a monkey butt guy that is the monkey butt inoculator guy.
Okay.
And then you think,
we get the graphic.
You think, okay, you're a rhesus monkey. You see your little rhesus monkey pals going down to the little rhesus monkey bar, and they think they're having a good time, but they go home with a butt full of HIV.
Well, maybe
you think
maybe they get the gay ones.
I don't know how they would stratify that, but you would think if you were a rhesus macaque and you were in a truck and it turned over and you escaped your little cage with your little hands, that you would probably be a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right? And then you think of the guy that does that, and he goes to a cocktail party. What do? Well, my friends at work call me Monkey Butt Boy. Well, why is that? Is that because you cycle a lot? No, it's because I infect rhesus monkeys with HIV through their,
Maybe they did it with a turkey baster like that one.
Well, I'm sure they do
patient
it
that called
in
into
the
our
most
clinic that
humane
one
way
time.
possible, and I'm sure it entirely irritates the hell out of the cute little monkeys.
So how, a lot of people, it's like against animal testing and all, they're looking for the little bunny sign on their product. How often can they use, I'm curious how often they can use monkeys for experiments
I did not
in
research
science.
that. That would have been a good question to ask. I don't know.
Because we think of mice, or they
Yeah, but they
sometimes.
need non-human primates, especially for like vaccine testing and whatnot, right?
I know.
And so the rhesus macaque seems to be the guy that they use. Now, the other thing that's interesting about these guys is there is a great story. And this makes, if this next part of this monkey story doesn't make you happy, if the HIV one doesn't make you happy, that's fine. I understand. If this doesn't make you happy, the happy part of you has left you and you are a hopeless
But
person.
wait. Get to the end of the story. So what happened to them all?
Well, we don't know
How many?
because
No, they killed a bunch.
they killed, I think they killed all of them. All of them.
Isn't there a couple
Okay.
left?
Well, no, they said there was only one left. And then all of a sudden, like 3 more got killed by random strangers.
Random strangers.
Yeah.
So
No, this monkey comes into her backyard and it's like, they're not pleasant to be around. And so she's like scared for her kill. So she freaking snipes this thing.
I wonder if she killed it like someone you work with that had to take a hockey stick, a prized special. Wasn't it a commemorative hockey stick?
Yes, the commemorative. What did they kill? I forget.
Snake.
Oh, the snake.
What else is around here?
The snake. The snake in the house with the commemorative hockey stick. That is so Florida. It's unbelievable. So, at any rate, there's been 2 or 3. So who knows? And then the story started with these monkeys are not infectious. They're being used in infectious testing, but they're not infectious. And I'm like, who's going to believe anyone in the infectious monkey world now, right? Especially when it's Tulane University. And if you go back, way back to the 1950s, Tulane University used these kind of monkeys to incubate the polio vaccine in their kidneys, introducing simian virus 40 into the vaccines, which causes human cancer. So it's not like Tulane has a perfect record in the monkey world.
Hell, and where else was that simian virus 40?
In
my body.
In the Flovid vaccine?
Yes.
Holy smokes. But now to the happy monkeys.
But wait, I was just thinking though, before you get to that part, the whole thing reminds me of one of those horrible horror. I call it horror movies.
Oh no,
What was
that's
the one?
science fiction. Yeah.
I know, but it is still horrible. What, Contagion?
Contagion with Samuel L. Jackson.
And what's the one with Jodie Foster in it? Was that the same one?
I don't know.
There was another one like that too. Anyway.
Yeah, and it's like the monkey spits into its hand and then it touches
Maybe
a
they
burrito.
could make a movie based off that.
Yes.
Monkeys running through the Florida jungle and let me think. Leaping out of trees into people's kayaks and infecting them.
Okay, so we're getting to this. Okay,
Or
we're gonna play the
did I
video.
pull that out of some other
We're gonna
clip?
play the video first.
They're jumping in. Look at them all. These are all monkeys jumping in. Oh my God, it's raining monkeys. This is like crazy. Oh my God.
That
I'm thinking
makes me so happy. Like, it's literally, if you're not watching, you have to go back and watch this. It's Silver Spring, Florida. It's literally trees, and it's just literally tons of monkeys just cannonballing
into the water.
monkey after monkey after monkey into the water.
All around this poor lady who's in a kayak. Although I think that made her day, her year.
Oh, I love that.
Her
that
life.
Makes me so happy. If I'm sad, there's 2 things I can do now. I can watch the monkeys flying out of trees into the river, and I can watch the Bill O'Reilly will do it live. That is so great. So how did this happen? Because are rhesus macaques native to Central Florida? The answer is no.
Just like all that other vermin, possums.
Just like virtually every other creature that we have to kill here, that some genius brought. So in true American capitalist fashion, a guy back in the 1930s, decided that it would be really cool for his riverboat cruise on the Silver River to bring in monkeys and make Monkey Island. So he got a bunch of these rhesus macaques and he threw them onto Monkey Island. He made his own Monkey Island. What he did not understand, and he learned very, very quickly, as you've seen in that video, is they are prolific swimmers. They are like little miniature simian Michael Phelps.
I wonder if they do doggy paddle. I was trying to look to see how they swim. Do they doggy paddle or is it doing breaststroke?
I don't know, but they swim fast.
I know. I was trying to
So
check.
what happened is they left the island and they completely invaded the Silver Creek area, which is fascinating because they haven't really left there. Apparently now there's several thousand and they just live in this one area of Central Florida. They didn't go north, they didn't go south. They just hang out around the water and they cannonball their little monkey butts off into the water and swim because they're amazing swimmers. It is absolutely crazy. Not like the pythons that the geniuses brought into Florida that just invaded the entire Everglades, killed the Florida Panthers. Like it's
they swim everywhere too. I mean,
they're
in Texas, they're here. Okay, so
there's something
I'm
weird.
thinking, wait, maybe the monkeys that were in the trailer that were infected had heard from their cousin.
That's right.
That there was a vacation destination
right.
in Florida, and they were trying to make their way down to Silver Springs so they too could
swim for your lives, little monkey.
Get to Monkey Island.
They could get to Monkey Island, and cool off their monkey butt from the prep test that they got.
Is that a bucket list?
We have to
spot?
do that. I want to see the raining monkeys, the flying monkeys. Like it's literally like the Wizard of Oz, except they don't have
one landed in your kayak though.
Yeah,
probably sink it.
Well, you could probably get a couple pitchforks and hold them up, and then if they, they would avoid. They're simians. They're smart enough. They probably would avoid jumping onto your pitchfork,
or not.
That's
terrible.
At which point the video would get super viral.
Let's get a squirt gun.
I don't think that works.
Squirt them.
Hold a big turkey baster full of HIV. I would sure that they'll avoid 100% won't jump on.
I guess they heard it from their cousin.
They heard it from their cousin.
Oh my gosh.
It's just crazy. Okay, so
you could get a new song out of that instead of It's Raining Men.
It's raining monkeys. Hallelujah. It's raining monkeys. And it's cold and it's raining iguanas. Yeah, like it's raining everything. Florida, it's just raining stuff. Stuff just falls out of the sky and hits you. So I'm going to do a little interlude here and talk to you about very briefly about why you should be careful with AI. So big Blue Jays fan, very disappointed at what happened at the World Series, but that's fine. That's water under the bridge now. So I got super pissed off as soon as the Dodgers won, and I shut the TV off and I went to bed. And I'm laying there and I go, I wonder who won. I wonder who won the most valuable player, because it should have been Yamamoto, who was the pitcher that actually won. So I picked up my phone and I typed in who won the most valuable player. And what I got was this. And it said, Vlad Jr. is the 2025 MVP, having won the award as his Blue Jays defeated the Dodgers in Game 7.
What?
And he won the ALCS MVP award earlier in the postseason and secured the World Series MVP with a home run in the decisive Game 7.
That's after
the
game was over.
After the game over, complete and totally
BS.
Made up by, like, the game was over for like half an hour, and that's what came up. So it looked at Vlad Jr. It said he won the ALCS. It looked at what was going on in the game and that the Blue Jays absolutely had like a 90% chance of winning in the 9th inning. And it just made it up, even though the actual facts were there. And that was before Yamamoto was, announced. So it just made up the winner of the game. It made up the winner of the the MVP, and it made up the winner of the World Series.
So all of you, including myself, that are using Chat GTP to direct your choices, whether it be healthcare or research on anything, be that
No, like
forewarned.
that's
That- that there's
completely
a-
fabricated.
And we've heard that from who else told you that a lot of the time it lies and just makes crap up.
Well, it will hallucinate because it's so programmed to give an answer. If it doesn't really know it, it'll take the highest probability stuff like that. Like that answer was a high probability answer. Like it was legitimately. But it wasn't what happened. Like, but it wasn't real. That's the point. Like if you watch that game till the 8th inning, the Blue Jays were going to win and Vlad Jr. was going to be the MVP. There was no question. That's who it would have been if the Blue Jays would have won. But it wasn't. Yamamoto was the pitcher. He was the guy 100% that decided it for the Dodgers with his pitching his two games in a little bit. That was it.
Well,
That was
even
that
the
was
fact
reality.
that it said that the Blue Jays defeated the Dodgers.
Oh no, yeah, because it just looked at the probabilities. It did the math, and it's like, well, that's what's going to happen. And then it just said that that's what happened when that half an hour earlier, that's absolutely what did not happen.
You should have challenged it because you can. You can say, "Are you sure
You
which
could
team
say,
won?"
you lying sack of shit.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, hey, hi Jamie. Thanks for hopping in.
Yeah, it's like,
I'm curious how you figured it was full of BS. Did something happen, or you just kind of expected, or no? Did something happen to you, or is that what you heard?
but it's super difficult. It's super. So that's the thing, right? Like if you look at the stuff with ChatGTP and Grok and whatnot, and you ask it relatively hard science questions,
Mm-hmm.
like hard science, like it's been studied, there's tons of data. Again, perfect. No, that's a
Oh,
how
wait.
to make.
Maybe it's going to tell you to put the wrong amount of
That's right.
baking soda
That's right.
and salt in, and you're going to end up with this pile of crap.
But so the thing is that when stuff is relatively objective, right, and you have lots of like previous data on objective reality. Here's what tell me what the studies say about X, Y, or Z. Okay, I think it does a pretty good job, but it's harvesting the entire internet. Okay, so when you think of, tell me about a celebrity, pick a political figure, it doesn't reason. It picks all the data and collates it and then comes up with the most or whatever. Well, if you ask a question about a political figure, you're going to get all the people that hate him and all the people that love that person, and most of that is bullshit. Like on either side, it's complete garbage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a rational. What are you going to tell me about Abraham Lincoln when every single book has been written about him? It could give you a balanced answer. If you ask about Pelosi or Trump or Biden or whatever, it's not going to give you that. Because it's harvesting complete nonsense. Because when you ask a question about polarizing political figures or celebrities or personalities, it's harvesting the entire internet, and most of what it's harvesting is complete crap.
Okay, so from my point of view, like Jamie said, it told her that one of her labs was good, but it was actually bad. And so I would say that I've been typing in a lot of stuff recently about COVID, long COVID, and it has, first of all, a big bias. Things that are verified treatments, or even the fact about COVID, it takes the whole bias of towing the party line on what they're saying with the jabs and how safe they are, etc. And if you look up trying to find anything, on alternative therapies from ivermectin, nicotine patch, it's just like, no, this is just bunk science. It's just a fantasy. These guys are quacks. So, I don't know. I'm going to, I have to say, I've been really bad about like reading it and trusting some of the stuff, but I should know better.
Well, but that's the point. because it's going to look at it and it's going to go, well, this is in the Lancet. It must be true. When, the biggest journals in the world are the most corrupted, right? Like it's the religion of RCT. It's what Harvey Rich always says about randomized controlled trial. The only thing controlled is the outcome, right? So it like, but it doesn't reason. Like it kind of reasons, but it really doesn't reason. And there's no nuance. It's a large language model. It's taking all of these language bits and synthesizing them into another language bit. And what happens is, and this is what we do as human beings. We anthropomorphize things. We make things human that aren't human. You don't own a dog. You're a dog mom. Well, actually, you're not a dog mom. You're a dog owner. Because if you were a dog mom, you would have had a dog puppy leave your body. And it didn't. It left another dog's body, not yours. But we have these animals that are our family, which is awesome. And we anthropomorphize it into, well, I'm a dog mom. No, you're not. Like you aren't. And that's the thing. It's like you say dog mom or whatever enough times to the internet, and it's going to say, AI is going to say, well, you're the parents of that animal. Well, it's impossible. And that's what, like, Elon was just on Joe Rogan, and he talked about this. He's like, it freaks the AI out when they did this stuff with Google, where they said every answer has to be a diverse woman, right? And so it was like, paint me a picture of George Washington, and it's George Washington as a black woman. And it frustrates it because it knows that isn't true, but it knows it has to give this answer. So it gives the answer that it's, going to for literally not be punished for.
Interesting.
So like, because we're human and we're programming it, and because it's super powerful and can harness all of this knowledge that we can't harness, it's such a huge potential for good and a huge potential for the deepest piles of bullshit ever created.
True. Okay, so I know that we're doing the funny news stories, but I like interacting and answering and addressing questions and comments that come on here. That's why we're here. So Jamie made a comment about using it because it's convenient to look stuff up. Obviously, on the internet. Hopefully, people are thinking of chat for answering questions. Google Doc, how much we like that when people Google their medical problems. And now we chat GTP to deal with, which people think it's way more useful than some doctors. However,
well, because it is.
Well, if it's telling the truth.
Right. But so Elgato Malo wrote about, no, they've done this. They've studied human physicians writing board certification exams.
Oh, well.
Compared to ChatGTP. And ChatGTP has scored higher than any human can. Now, part of that is horseshit. And the reason it is because you're taking an algorithm and you're testing it with another algorithm. So the way you get tested with multiple, because they're all multiple choice questions, that's how we get tested for board certification. That is an algorithmic test.
True.
So you're giving an algorithmic test to an algorithm. Of course, the algorithm is going to totally kick ass.
Right.
Like there's no other chance.
But when it comes to, like I said earlier, especially things, new fringe related to COVID, any of that kind of stuff, it's just going to pick a bias. So I don't know. Maybe it's good for some things like learning, reading x-rays, etc. But if you look up anything, not anything, but with the COVID world and I don't know, vaccines,
well, anything emerging,
like that,
anything controversial, which every single personality in the world is controversial. Emerging science that's controversial. It's going to toe the line. Yeah. So
and definitely
recipes, fantastic. Yeah. That one makes total sense.
I don't think that I would upload or screenshot and put it into chat or even on Facebook, my own personal information, unless of course it's just lab values and it doesn't have your name and birthday.
Well, yeah, that's of course
and that kind of information. Not a wise idea, no. But Yeah, anything controversial, I don't know that I would trust it. But I'm still kind of not even controversial. I mean, if her lab results, read it as correct and it was an incorrect reading, does that make sense?
You can't do that. You get after me for
Then,
moving my hands. You cannot move your mouth from the mic.
then I don't know. I don't know how accurate it is. Makes me wonder.
Well, garbage in, garbage out. We've said that about computers for the last, how long have computers existed? 60 years, 50 years? I mean, that's really the reality. And
Uh,
speaking of garbage, let's go back to our favorite former country for one more animal story, and then we'll wrap this up and tell you. It's the ostrich story.
Aw.
There it is. It's the ostrich story. Canada orders mass culling of 400 research ostriches over bird flu, refuses to test surviving birds for natural immunity because they're totalitarians, I think. So let me give a brief synopsis of what you need to know about the story. So 2 years ago in 2024, this ostrich farm that had 400 ostriches or whatever, there was like 50 or 60 of them that got really sick and died. So they tested them, they had bird flu. So the ostriches got bird flu. And then because Canada has this law of snuff out, so if there's one bird in your herd that has bird flu, you have to kill the entire herd. That's this rule. And part of that is because that's part of an international treaty so that you can import and export, chickens and ducks and whatnot, right? So it got all tangled up in the courts and they tried to save the ostriches and it lasted 2 years. And obviously they're fine because there's 300 of them that are not sick and they're perfectly fine. So they said, we don't need to retest them. We don't need to study them. We don't need to do anything. The law is cull them. So they went in there and they brought in legitimate snipers and killed all of them. And that was like last week. No, like it's so beyond the pale of common sense. It's you cannot even imagine. So first off, how do ostriches get bird flu? Well, obviously, it's because they're a gigantic prehistoric bird that travels. They walk down to, they get into a bus and they get, out of town, they get on a plane and they fly around and then they get the bird flu and they bring it back to their herd. No,
What?
that's not how they do it. They're
What?
ostriches. They're in a giant pen. They are 100% captive because they're ostriches.
So
They legitimately stick their head in the sand. They are totally unable to go anywhere but the ostrich ranch. So how would they get bird flu? Oh, that's right. They get bird flu from the biggest, most giganticus bird flu reservoir in the history of bird flu, which is migratory birds. In other words, geese and ducks,
their cousins came to visit.
where bird flu is endemic. So what that means is endemic means it's widespread in migratory birds. So what are you going to do? Kill every single freaking migratory bird in the world so that you don't transmit bird flu? No, you can't do that. Migratory birds are so cherished. I looked into this, that when my friend built the water ski I used to water ski on 35 years ago, you have to get a migratory bird permit because there's highways, super highways in the sky that migratory birds fly on. And if you put a water patch in the middle of a field big enough to water ski on, it changes their migratory patterns because they're water fowl.
Wow.
That's how crazy much care we have for migratory waterfowl. Okay, that's great. I'm glad we do that. All right. So bird flu is endemic in migratory birds, which means if you have birds that live outside and not in some gigantic commercial farm in a giant pen, they will get infected once in a while. So why didn't they just say, well, some of the ostriches died. It's been 2 years. Let's go back and test them. Well, because we have a rule. If one's infected, they all die. Well, thank you, Chairman Mao Hitler.
Take it all for the team.
And they said, well, but they could be infectious. Okay. Doesn't this ring a bell from walking the wrong direction in the grocery store? Well, they can be infectious and transmit bird flu if they're not symptomatic. And who in the ever-loving F word is a ostrich going to transmit asymptomatically when it lives in a freaking ranch? Is it going to get a driver's license like Emu, the emu, and drive around infecting people as a limo driver? No, it's going to infect no one because it can't. So you could test its feces and test its big ostrich nose and see if it's immune and see if it has active virus and learn something. But no, it's way more fun to just kill them all because we're from the Canadian government, which means by definition, we are retarded.
Tell us how you really feel. No, I mean, it is ridiculous. The level of non-thinking just boggles the mind.
Well, it's non-thinking. It's not even. It's non-thinking,
what's
and
the-
it's like I read an
The
article from the
science.
CBC. The science tells us. The science told you to
Nothing.
walk the wrong direction in Safeway 3 years ago because you're mental.
The science.
The science bite me. Every time I hear the science, I know you're insane. It's like insane. It's just like if you drive a Subaru, have a nose piercing and purple hair that looks like a helmet,
Maybe they're
you're
watching.
probably not going to want to date men. I'm just going way out on a limb.
You're profiling.
100%.
So maybe they were profiling ostrich.
It was like northern British, right? It's not. It's like it was an ostrich farm in the middle of downtown Vancouver, right? I mean, it's so completely crazy. And then, but the thing is, it's like, well, avian flu. Avian flu is very dangerous to other birds. Yeah, that's why it's called freaking bird flu and not human flu, right? But this has been the fear because it's super lethal. Like it's unbelievable. If you're a human being and humans have got it, but they've only got it from other avians. In other words, they've only got it from other birds. And it's like 75% mortality. So the
So
concern
don't
is
own a bird as a pet.
the concern is if bird flu ever got into humans and became human to human transmissible. That's been this gigantic fear since I remember it was the Ebola scare and all that bullshit, right? And I'm like, well, it's never happened because it's not going to happen unless some genius screws with avian flu in a lab like they did with COVID and makes it more infectious to humans. And then it escapes the lab and gets in birds because birds are the biggest vector of all influenza. And so it's never going to go, right? It doesn't matter how many flu shots you get. None of this matters because there's a huge animal vector, right? It's not like.
So what do they do if someone I don't know what would happen if they got rabies? They kill all of them too?
Well, oh no, of course not, because there's a treatment for rabies, and I have treated several people this year for rabies.
I'm just thinking about the ostriches.
Oh, if there, oh no, well, I would absolutely look. If you had rabies in a herd of ostriches,
No, one.
Yeah, you should. No, that's a no-brainer because that's a 100% transferable illness. from an animal to humans. So the animal to human vector is 100%, and
Right.
untreated it is virtually 100% fatal. No, you should be going in there with an atomic bomb and killing all the ostriches. If it was rabies, absolutely, because it isn't just an animal.
What's the
host.
incubation period time though on that?
On rabies?
Yeah,
Oh, I can't remember.
I can't
I've
either.
treated several people this year actually
With rabies.
for because it's just the vaccine, right? You have all this. You have several. You
No,
have
I
several
know what
days.
it is. I did not know that you've treated people for rabies.
They didn't have rabies. They had a high risk exposure. Like one person was sitting around outside and a bat flew out of a tree and like bit them on the head.
Oh,
I'm like, would you get a rabies vaccine if a bat flew out of a tree and bit you on the head? Yes, 100% I would.
that's why we sit in
that's a
our
new-
bird cages, as
That's
my
right. It's a
the neighbors
complete.
call them bird cages.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do you call it a bird cage?
No, it's complete. No, right? Like
Now I know.
like the rabies immunoglobulin or the rabies vaccine, super effective post exposure prophylaxis, unbelievably great. Like that's like no brainer, right? Like absolutely no question, because that is an animal. There is an animal reservoir of rabies, primarily and almost exclusively in bats, and it transmits to humans reasonably effectively. And if you get infected with it, it's almost
Right.
100% fatal. So that's yes. But they treat avian flu like somehow, Ralph Barrick is there fudging with the subtypes and making it more infective to humans. Well, it doesn't. Like no human transfer. Like that's the key, right? And unless like there's waterfowl everywhere. And humans just don't get. The only people that avian flu are people that work directly with birds. And it's still exceptionally unusual and exceptionally rare. But let's just kill all it. And so then it gets even crazier because you have two sides to the story, right? So you have the people in there killing all the birds, and then you have this huge group of people on the internet losing their ever-loving minds.
Oh, PETA.
So I follow this Facebook group called WTF YXE. So WTF, you know what that is? YXE is the airport code for Saskatoon, where I was born. And one of the ostrich killers was from Saskatoon.
Mm.
And so I screenshotted it. I will not post it because I'm not a doxing guy. So one of the guys on this Facebook post doxed this guy and said, let's make this, blah, 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 blankety blank famous for being an ostrich killer. And I'm like, really? I mean, it's not exactly like you're kind of a dick. It's not exactly Joseph Mengele. I mean, really? And so, you got crazies on both sides.
Of course.
Like crazy on both sides.
Well, I think we buried that topic into
Okay.
the sand.
All right. So, news. The reason we have not been doing regular live streams.
There's multiple reasons.
Multiple reasons. May had recent surgery. We've been busy with some other projects. But
May's had recent illness, which that
will
more,
become more on that to come.
if you keep following us.
But doing better. That's the good news. The other good news is we have teamed up with a local production company that is amazing, with some amazing producers. They're building a brand new studio, and they have invited us to work with them. And we are going to up the production by a gajillion.
Well, a couple of our podcasts popped out.
We did a couple podcasts
with the new
that you see with the new background. Those are kind of screen tests, but we're going to, these guys are great. We love them. They think like us. We share beliefs. We share passion for the truth, for medical freedom, for conservative values. And it has been just an absolute blessing. We were really close. We were right at the edge and saying, maybe we're just done. Maybe it's been 5 years. It was fun. It was good hobby, whatever. And they started calling us and they're like, let's get this going. Let's take this to the next level. So that is what is going to happen. We are going to take this to the next level, whatever that level may be. and we appreciate you watching, sharing. Check out our Substack. We're going to write
Yes.
way more. Substack is amazing. It is an amazing place for thinkers and truth tellers. Please follow us there,
So you- I
BS3MD
should-
at Substack.
Yeah, I should probably explain because a lot of people don't still know what Substack is.
Like the ultimate blog area. But
Yes.
you can comment, you can cross post other people's blogs. It's just it's kind of the rebirth
And a lot of
a
people
blog.
actually have podcasts through there.
Yes.
We don't plan to do that, but there are some people that have been on our show that actually put their podcasts out there, their audio, but you can read it like a blog or an article and comment and engage with other people, and share. Yeah, so it's a really neat forum. Anyway, we would love it if you would follow us there. We don't have a do we have a subscription? No, we don't have a paid subscription to it yet.
No paid.
It's
Currently free.
So check out Substack. Tim actually had a post that came out 2 days ago. Very provoking. And we've been re-sharing some things that we've been following as well. So please follow us there. Instagram, we're on there a little bit more of that as we get things rolling here.
Yep, absolutely. Like, comment, all the stuff that you're supposed to do, share. And we will be back the middle of December with brand new content, with a new studio, with a new vibe, with actual like multiple cameras, all the stuff you expect from people that are as brilliant as we are. We're going to find people equally as brilliant in the production side. So,
and if you have any suggestions for topics, send them our way. If you've been following us for a while, you kind of know what our lane is, but we would love some suggestions on topics, trending things. I think menopause is a hot one right now, as well as
it's getting
vaccines,
hot in here. So take off all your hormones.
And some of these studies coming out with that, as well as the Make America Healthy movement that is kind of, I don't know. I'm really still mourning the fact that they're going to be taking all the color out of Fruit Loops.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's that. That's a whole other can of
Anyway.
worms where if I read a stat, I don't know if it's true, but like, I think it was, Lane Norton came out and he said the average American eats something like 3,300 to 3,500 calories. And if you're a little bit husky and you're eating 3,300 calories a day, it's not because of the red dye. And I was like, yep, that is correct.
Exactly. All right. To wrap this up, do you have a special cocktail of the evening?
No, I'm just drinking Red Bull and vodka, which means I'm going to be up all night and I'll be having a good time.
And I am
drinking lemonade.
Completely dry. More on the reasons why. Probably be a 9-month process. And no, I'm not pregnant.
That's good. That is very good. All right, later.